Sato's had a look at the watch and he blows the full-time whistle, and this remarkable semi-final is over. It's heartbreak for Manchester City, and there's a warm embrace down there between two men who have gone toe-to-toe for 180 minutes or more, Carlo Ancelotti and Pep Guardiola. But it's the Real Madrid players who are celebrating. They're into another Champions League final, and the 13 times winners will play Liverpool in Paris 3 weeks on Saturday for the biggest trophy in European club football. He can't believe it. I'm sure he can't, because his team were there. They got a place in the final in the palm of their hands. Mahrez's goal was going to prove decisive. Carlo Ancelotti very emotional down there, and you would expect that. But Rodrigo with 2 goals in less than 2 minutes, and then Ruben Dias fouling Benzema in the first period of extra time. And the man who scored his 43rd goal scores the decisive goal. Jack Grealish had a chance before the full-time whistle. He'd not seen the ball until Rodrigo got involved. Steve McManaman, that is quite an astonishing semi-final.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. Whatever you've just said, you just have to literally repeat. They had it in the palm of the hand. They were cruising through, and to concede 2 in such quick fashion was devastating. Nice to see Carlo with Davide, his son, of course, very emotional. But this club just continues to surprise us.
Tears for Zinchenko, a consoling hug from Guardiola. All the headlines will speak of the heroics of Rodrigo, but when they needed him, the ice-cool Karim Benzema slotted home his penalty. It's heartbreak for Manchester City. I can't even begin to feel what the players are going through right now. There are tears, there's desolation. Kevin De Bruyne stalking around the Bernabeu, but it's Real Madrid who will play Liverpool in the Champions League final. And this is a night, again, where the Champions League has shocked us all, served up all the theatre and drama that any sporting event could do in this magnificent sporting arena. And Real Madrid will play Liverpool in the Champions League final.
Steve, Darren, thank you both very much. Indeed they will. For the 3rd time, Liverpool will meet Real Madrid, and you can see what it means to these Real Madrid players on the pitch right now. We're watching the City players, they're walking around, they're not sure what to do with themselves, but the Real players know exactly what to do. They're there and they're celebrating. And there's so much talent in this Real Madrid side, but what we've seen against PSG, against Chelsea, and now against Manchester City, that they've also got that heart, they've also got desire, and that is what has carried them so far, all the way to the Champions League final.
Listen, never ever doubt the quality of these players in that team. Experience, we've always said experience counts for so much at this level, but like you say, heart, desire, the character of these players, they've been here, they've seen this so many times. The fact that they've got many players here that have won multiple Champions League trophies. At no point in this tournament did they ever panic when they went behind. You always see teams, no matter where they are, what players they've got, how many times. A lot of players panic in this situation. These boys look around, trust in each other. They totally trust in each other, the manager, and most of all in this crowd. This crowd today, man, Julian, we've been in here all day listening to these guys. They absolutely pushed this team over the line.
They solely believed that they were going to get this job done today. Even when it was 1-0, the City fans and obviously went a bit quiet, but after that, they lifted the whole team and the place just erupted. As soon as they scored their first goal, you've seen everyone's belief just lift, and the whole volume of this place blew the roof off.
Rodrigo, the substitutions Carlo Ancelotti made today, Rodrigo and Camavinga especially, wow, phenomenal substitutions who impacted the game. But listen, this is going to be some final, man. This is going to be. You know what? I would have given you everything to be here, just because of the size of the game. Yeah. But we have been treated to some unreal football in these semi-finals. Every game has given us and thrown us something different. And these guys, man, listen, to be here, I feel blessed. I feel lucky.
Oh, 100%. Yes, listen, I was buzzing to get to this stage and to witness this game, but as I say, I'm gutted from the City point of view. I'm gutted, but what like Rio said, the experience that this club has, not this group of players, this club on a whole has in this competition, and the belief they have is remarkable.
And I know that for you City fans who are watching this is not what you wanted to see. This isn't the result that you wanted. Pep Guardiola must wonder what he has to do to be successful in this competition with Manchester City. Our thoughts are with you, those City fans who've travelled, not a single man, woman or child, is leaving the stadium. The City fans remain up there. It's heartbreaking for them. But just remember, Real Madrid beaten by Sheriff Tiraspol at the start of this competition. We were watching them saying they're going to go out early, and somehow they've stumbled, they've faltered, they've struggled, they've failed. But they've got all the way to the final. Again, they just do it.
This team have been comfortable suffering. There's moments in these games that you mentioned, PSG, Chelsea, they were suffering in those games, but never 1 minute panicked. They were comfortable in uncomfortable situations.
Rio, up until the 85th minute, they were suffering. They were uncomfortable. They didn't have a shot, don't think, until the 85th minute when Benzema had one from outside the box. Then all of a sudden, they cross the ball, score a goal, and then that is it. The whole place changed.
I think also we've witnessed the stadium take the life out of a team, take the life and soul out of a team. This is Manchester City, at the moment, the best team in the land, in England, top of the Premier League. Right, fighting with Liverpool, and listen, you saw the weight of history, the size of the stadium. It played its part today, and I don't care who you are. Sometimes in situations like this, this Real Madrid team, man, today, that character. Listen to these guys. Just listen to these fans, please.
Let's just watch this for a moment. Have a listen.
You know what, Jake? City played their part as well. Okay? They definitely played their part, the way that they've played, the way they've attacked these games. They don't come to sit and just rest and play with a handbrake half on. They go out there and try and take games by the scruff of the neck. But today, I thought there was a nervousness with the City team. They didn't have that rhythm that you associate with Pep Guardiola, Man City teams. And today, I don't know what it was. I would like to hear from some players and obviously from the manager to see if they can put their finger on what it was. But it's difficult to navigate your way through these situations because they can change just like that, and today it did.
It's so hard, Julian, for Pep and these City players. He's taken them straight down the tunnel, straight into the dressing room. And he now has to lift them. Because in a few days' time, they play in the Premier League against Newcastle. They've still got a Premier League title to try and win.
Oh, 100%. And as players, you will use this feeling as a positive in regards to the Premier League. Listen, you don't want to end up with the season without no trophies. And they've still got the Premier League to play for. They're still at the top of the league. So in regards to that, there's a quick turnaround. They're going to have to lift themselves because they were devastated tonight. The fact that they have gone in so early, yes, they've respected the fans that have stayed here, but on a whole, devastation in that dressing room. When you come so close to getting to the final and you've just lost it, devastation.
It's a massive job for the staff, for the coaching staff, for all the
leaders in the group.
The masseurs, the leaders in that group. It's not about just the man who wears the armband, it's the group, the lieutenants in that change room, the experienced ones have got to now pick up and galvanise the rest of that squad. There's a hell of a lot to play for. There's a Premier League title at stake now, and they've got the
opportunity to win 3 Premier Leagues in a row.
Yeah,
that is the motivation now. You go into the Newcastle game, into the remaining league games, and believe that you can a three-peat.
Just look at this. On the back of the shirts, 414. They've won 13 Champions League trophies. They want one more. And these fans will do everything they can to carry them all the way there. And I wonder what Mo Salah thinks right now. He joined us after the game last night. He said he wanted Real Madrid, he gets them. We spoke to Liverpool fans yesterday in Valencia and in Villarreal. They said they wanted Real Madrid. They were scared of Manchester City in the final. They get this team as well, and that is going to be some final.
Well, they've got their wish. But listen, this won't be an easy game for Liverpool. I can't see it. These guys have proven this season in this competition that they come out to fight regardless of what happens in the game. And listen, this is the best tournament football going. I swear, what we've got this season and seasons before, it just keeps on getting better.
The only thing that Real Madrid have to their disadvantage that the final isn't in this stadium. Because all the spectacles, PSG, Chelsea, tonight has been here. These fans obviously create an atmosphere that is monumentous for Real Madrid and this team.
I'll tell you what you won't do is you won't bet against this team now. You can't. Don't care who they're playing.
They do it when it matters. And he's moved at pace. He hasn't lost his pace since his playing days, and Steve McManaman's come down from commentary to join us. Steve, you achieved some amazing things with this football club. You've seen some amazing things in Madrid. Where does tonight sit in what you've witnessed at this football club over the years?
Well, I'm a bit like yourselves. I mean, I never get lost for words a lot of the time, but I was dumbstruck up there. 90th minute, no attempts on target. Manchester City cruising through, and then that happened. I mean, the second goal was an amazing goal by Rodrigo. It just comes off Asensio's head and he still gets up. And then them to go on and win it, it's just beggars belief, really, after what we saw against PSG, what we saw against Chelsea, for them to do it tonight, when they were out for it, all the good players, all the experienced players were off the field, for them to get the result, I think it's an incredible feat, I really do.
I don't think I've ever seen a run to the final so topsy-turvy for a team. Up and down, again, suffering. Moments where you see they're out, this team are out, betting against them at every single junction, and they come and override it. I mean, Carlo Ancelotti, listen, people talk about the great managers of the modern era. He has to be in the mix to be at the top of that tree, because what he's been doing with
But how do you explain that to a neutral? How has that result happened?
Don't expect this again.
It's a question that we need to try and answer. How has that result happened?
I honestly don't know, because that wasn't on the cards up until the 90th minute. I didn't see them.
I mean, Grealish had those two wonderful chances. It looked as if City were just going to go 2-0, 3-0, thank you very much. And then even when Madrid scored, you went, wow, that's a surprise. But I didn't expect them to do it again.
I think City, that the element of control that we've come accustomed to seeing from them in games, they control games at 0-0, get a goal ahead, and you think, right, steamroller teams. At no time really in this tie over the two legs did you go, they're going to run away with this. They missed chances, yes, but every single time this Real Madrid team pegged them back. I know, but Ray,
we never thought they were ever going to lose it.
No, I didn't see them losing this game.
Losing it,
no
but
way.
they never seem in total control to me. There was a nervous energy in the stadium.
Yeah, I agree with the nervous energy for elements, but there were still periods where they were on top. It just wasn't for the long periods that we've come accustomed to seeing.
But it wasn't a convincing City that I'm talking about. That you go, okay, yeah, look at them. I don't see them getting a chance, Real Madrid. They've got this by a stranglehold. They're strangling this team. It wasn't like that.
Yeah, but they wasn't uncomfortable either. I didn't ever think, well, Madrid are going to score here. There was a period where they were on top.
I'm with you. I never once, when I was sitting up there, thought Madrid are going to get back into this game. I didn't once. I just thought, right, run the clock down. Let's get out of here, City, Liverpool in the final. Even in my commentary, I'm saying, the hardest part of getting to Paris is getting out to the northwest, because City and Liverpool are going to take all the planes and all that. And I just
I swear, I didn't feel like that. I just felt Madrid, what they've proved time and time again in this tournament, that they'll come and get chances, and then it's about, are they clinical enough? And I just felt on edge for Man City. Not that I even really cared about who won tonight, but I was on edge for City, for City's sake.
You cared.
When
we scored, you cared.
You're lucky nobody was filming your celebrations when City scored.
Now he wants to be the hero down here.
I want an English final. That gives
you. You've wore blue.
That gives you. Pardon?
Yeah, you heard me. You've wore blue.
We might end up rolling today, John, and you carry on saying such blasphemy on TV.
Listen, let's be totally honest, okay? I mean, you might think slightly different. We were keen on an English final. We thought these two teams going toe-to-toe all season.
Jake, I've said it all along. If you ask me who I thought would win today, I've been consistent. City. Last week, City. I mean, I did say Chelsea, and Chelsea, I don't know anything, like always.
We've got exactly the same thing again, where everyone's going to go, brilliant Liverpool. They steamroller teams. They've got so much talent, they'll go and win the final. But how can you now say that after what happened against PSG, what happened against Chelsea, what's happened tonight against
The only reason I can say that, Jake, is the final isn't here. All them occasions have happened here. That is the only reason I'm going to say that Liverpool are favourites in this final.
I think after the game we saw a couple of weeks ago, Liverpool, Man City, that made your mouth water, and you thought, you know what, I'd love that as a season-end finale. I think I was on that side of things thinking, I'd love to see that again. The standard of that game, your WhatsApp groups, your meetings with your friends in the pubs, whatever, the quality of that game, but the character and the quality that this Real Madrid team, I think, can add to that. And again, you can get a game of that standard again.
No, I think you can as well. And the tie speaks for itself, as in a glamour tie. Madrid have won it more times than anybody. Liverpool want to be the second with AC Milan if they win it again. So I get the glamour, you know, the glitz. And if it's not an all-English tie, this is probably the best way to do it. Liverpool against Real Madrid, because Real Madrid speak for itself. And you could possibly have the Ballon d'Or winner out on the Real Madrid shirt the way he's been playing. So I get that.
How does anyone else win the Ballon d'Or?
Well, they don't, do they? They don't. But you just... Sadio Mane's won the African Nations. If he lifts this and score, you know, there's different scenarios to everything.
Wow.
But it's great to see Benzema getting his rewards, isn't it? It really is.
What a season in the Champions League. Unbelievable.
I need a break, man.
We're going to get you a break in about 30 seconds' time. It's been an amazing season, and it isn't over yet. You can see the final of this season's remarkable, breathtaking, stunning Champions League live in Paris on BT Sport on Saturday, the 28th of May. We've got a 2-hour build-up from 6 p.m, BT Sport 1 and BT Sport Ultimate for the third time, Liverpool and Real. Two of the most famous teams on the planet go toe-to-toe. A hard night for Manchester City, and we will talk about that, we'll reflect on that, we'll hopefully hear from the City dressing room. But without question, tonight belonged to Real Madrid. They suffered in Manchester, they delivered in Madrid, they are in the Champions League final, and we'll continue the conversation after the break. Go for 14, said the shirts at full time from Real Madrid. How they would love to lift the famous Champions League trophy for a 14th time. That man, what a job he's done. We'll talk about Carlo Ancelotti in a moment, but for Manchester City, well, they would just love to get their hands on the trophy just once. True heartbreak for them. Those players have worked so hard this season. They still got the Premier League to fight for, but their Champions League journey ends here in Madrid this evening. Okay, we're all kind of just catching our breath. I think maybe what we should just do is remind ourselves and remind people at home what unfolded here this evening, try and make sense of things. And let's be totally clear, we'll skirt over your celebration of the goal. But when City scored, I think all four of us thought, job done.
Job done.
They're in the final.
Yeah, I thought he would go on to score more goals, to be honest, because obviously it meant that Madrid would have to push forward, leave more spaces, and I say that wasn't the case, but an exceptional goal.
Listen, I think it was the final. If you're an Englishman, you wanted that final to get the best football that we've seen this season from watching football. If you watched it this season, Man City, Liverpool was the best form of football that we'd seen.
Highest quality.
You're wanting that in the final, the spectacle, the end of the season finale. But after tonight and this, man, to see Real Madrid and someone like Benzema, who sacrificed a large part of his career and goals in terms of what he's showing now, what he was probably capable of doing. But he said, you know what, I'm gonna put that to one side for someone like Cristiano Ronaldo to fire us to 4 Champions League wins. Him to get to where he is now, I think it could end in a great way for him.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the goal then. It was scored by Riyad Mahrez, and it kind of felt it this time. Like, City had obviously dominated in Manchester. It hadn't been perfect from them this evening, but it just felt like job done, Steve.
Yeah, I think so. Gundogan came on and he had an instant impact, and I thought he was excellent. Just give them a little bit of control in the game. Involved, nice pass into Bernardo Silva. And it was all about decision making here. Shall I go left? Shall I go right? Brings it into Mahrez onto his favoured left foot, and he absolutely thrashes through the ball, doesn't he? Gets his body over, controls it really well, and just whips it past Thibaut Courtois. And I was the same. I just thought, right, that's it, done.
Bernardo Silva was exceptional tonight.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, he's exceptional.
Just gets lost, doesn't it, in the result, unfortunately. Yeah. Everything does. But it was a great little shimmy by him, and
he's the only one. He was the only one in the Man City shirt who played to his full potential, I thought, today. Bernardo Silva. That would be the disappointing thing if you're a City fan. If you're one of them City players, that he was really the only one that got to that level where you go, this is what we normally see from him. Everyone else is probably a little bit below that, and it contributes to one of the reasons why they lost.
Let's just talk around that then for a second, because we've seen City be so brilliant this season. What was the reason? And it wasn't awful, but it was just that 1 or 2% that wasn't what we would normally expect. What's that about?
Listen, you can't quantify what this occasion can take out of people. Whether it's concentration, whether it's energy levels before leading up to it and taking it in too much, mentally being prepared for this type of occasion, not preparing yourself for what we felt in this stadium. This place was rocking. If they had a roof, the roof would have come off. And not being prepared for that, you could be left stunned, and all of a sudden the game passes you by and it's taken. And that kind of seemed like it happened today.
Would have been prepared for. I mean,
I think what you realise is the way the game ended, the way the 90 minutes ended. Once you went to extra time, you probably, being ex-footballers, you thought Madrid are going to go on and win it, because it was such a body blow for Man City to concede the way they did. Yes, they've had troubles in the past in this competition, but this was the most brutal way to go out, the way they want. You know, me and Darren Fletcher thought it was done for Man City. We thought they were through. We were talking about the two best teams being Liverpool and Manchester City right from the beginning of the season, and they were first and second favourites to win this tournament. We didn't think we'd see it. I've seen 100 million football games. I didn't think it was going to end like that. The most dramatic. I still can't believe he thought Real Madrid were going to win it. I still can't believe that.
It's just the energy in the stadium. That's what it was. I mean, I don't know if you could feel it at home,
but 1-0,
energy
here.
Still
going to get in the game.
I was thinking they're going to have a chance to get back.
He did say it's not over.
But I weren't looking at like, okay, Liverpool, all your mates are asking for tickets. You got City mates they're asking for tickets. No way. Real Madrid are still in this game, I thought. But listen, I'll just keep going back to the fact that you can't understand sometimes until you get into a stadium like this, and actually sometimes if you're on the pitch,
I know.
As a player, you know
what that can do.
Momentum. It could be a throw-in, a tackle, anything. You've seen Real Madrid fans celebrating throw-ins towards the end of that game.
He did say up there, you know, you actually did say at one point, he said they could get a couple of goals here, and you went, they're not scoring too. And this was the time when City was still having chances. I mean, Jack Grealish had a couple of great opportunities.
Yeah, and I thought he played well when he come on, but again, it was just moments, and it was just a belief from Real Madrid. But here, he's gone through.
I mean, you talk about Grealish's chance, but Ferland Mendy defensively there. Yeah. Courtois diving out the way. I don't know where he's going. But what a clearance that is by the left-back.
That changes everything. That changes everything for Jack Grealish in a Manchester City shirt. What's happened before this season? Whether you think he's been good or bad or average, that would have changed everything.
And even that, that was a great save that time by Courtois. Comes off the studs of his shoes.
He sent three of them out the stadium.
But again, another player that came on and believed he belonged here. Yeah. Like Bernardo Silva, we spoke about other players, but gutted, absolutely gutted.
Right.
You're right, Joe.
They were the length of a stud away. The length of a stud from going to the Champions League final. Yes. That is how tight it was.
If City had scored, then Madrid would have scored again anyway, wouldn't they? That's the way it was going, wasn't it?
But let's talk about Madrid.
The way the Champions League's been.
Because we're working in a building site this evening. There's dust everywhere. It's hard to get around. But it's actually the rebuild of this side which is also fascinating. Because these young players, and towards the end of this game, there were so many of them on the field. These young players, they looked like Real Madrid players out there, didn't they? There was no rabbits in headlights out there tonight.
No, they all knew what they had to do, and it was quite refreshing, really, to see them. To see the likes of a load of players tonight who have been in the Premier League on loan, haven't really starred, haven't made us think, Dani Ceballos, Jesus Vallejo came on at the end. Camavinga, I thought, was excellent. He is a new signing, and he looks a superstar, even though he's still a young lad. And then a couple of the stalwarts who've been around for a long time, the Nachos, the Lucas Vazquez, they came on and always do a great job. They're never 10 out of 10, but they're always solid 7, 8. You can rely on them all day long, and that's why they've got bundles of Champions League.
Nacho made some key blocks and tackles tonight. Some key tackles and blocks from Nacho tonight. As I said, this is not the most glamorous Real Madrid team you would have seen in the history of this club, but they played as a team, and they believe they could get the job done. Well,
let's have a look at the goals from the man who will get the headlines. And because we had nowhere else to go, we stood by the pitch here, and it went from, we've got to go back as a consolation, to, I don't quite believe this, we're going to go into extra time. Yeah,
Rodrigo changed the game, obviously, with his 2 goals. But here, you see Cancelo doesn't check his shoulders once. This pass here, you don't understand how difficult that is to get that back across. But he's run Rodrigo, it goes over his shoulder, and he reacts quickest, gets across Diaz, and it's a fantastic finish.
I mean, he was unlucky not to play, Rodrigo, because he's been in really good form. He scored 2 at the weekend and was a really bright spark. But he went a little bit more defensively today, playing Fede Valverde instead of him. But how to repay it when and how to have an immediate impact. And this was an amazing header, something that you don't necessarily associate him with.
But it's crosses again. We've seen multiple crosses over the last couple of days, and you put the ball in the box.
Yeah.
Defenders nowadays don't mark.
They can't defend. We say this every game, especially when me and Jolien together. If you cross the ball, you will get opportunities to score goals, because defenders these days, they're not accustomed to having to defend their box.
We've seen Benzema in the first half.
Yeah, Benzema had 2
I just don't think it's a scenario that is practiced. I think teams obviously work on scoring goals, but do they work on just getting it out wide and putting it in the box? And Obviously,
You see last night, 4 and against Villarreal,
Yeah.
and Liverpool scored just with crosses into the penalty
Yeah.
area.
Young defenders, when we were growing up, you worked as hard, if not harder, on defending situations, crosses,
Make
balls
sure
into
the forward
front
cannot see your
player.
number.
Exactly. But whereas now it seems to me, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys
I don't
work
know.
in
Yeah, I
clubs,
mean, use the
but
defenders.
you see defenders, the first thing you think about, how good is he on the ball?
Yeah.
Can he come out with the ball?
counter-attack?
Yeah, is he comfortable
Yeah.
with the ball? Rather than actually do your fundamentals really well and you'll get a good job in the game. But at the moment, listen, you admire their attacking play as well.
Yes.
What did you think of the defending for the penalty?
I thought it was rash. I thought he wasn't patient enough. I think in those situations, there's no need to dive in. Watch when the ball comes into Benzema. He's actually going back away from goal. He's going to the sidelines almost. And there's no real danger. Touch away. Just usher him the way that he's going with the ball. There's no need to jump in there and go to ground. Stay on your feet.
Yeah, and he possibly go with the wrong foot as well. I think you've left yourself no chance of really making a tackle with that sided foot.
Do you think that's just a bit of tiredness or mental tiredness coming into the game?
Pressure, everything?
Yeah.
Pressure, yeah. It's moments, isn't it? It's concentration.
I mean, Ruben Diaz has been Player of the Year last year, wasn't he? I mean, it happens to the best people.
Yeah.
And as I said, you can't understand and you can't explain to the people watching or the people in the stand sometimes the pressure of what is happening on the pitch. And if you can deal with it mentally, if you can get over the line, and we see that the team in white down here can do it on a regular basis. And maybe it's because they're in semi-finals and finals all the time.
The time. It's having that sense of clarity in those moments. A lot of it, when it starts, the game kind of starts falling away and being pulled away from you. It can get fuzzy. Situations get like, you panic and you make decisions and rash decisions that you wouldn't necessarily make when the game is kind of under control. And that separates the top teams. And that's why Real Madrid, history tells you that's what they do year in, year out, as Michael was saying.
And we've got the children of some of the Real players look behind us, scoring goals in here. They may well be some superstars of the future out there. There's some
lucky boys and girls. Look at them.
Aren't they? It's not
I'd love to be on that pitch and doing these.
Go on, Ray, jump on, go on.
He missed his touch earlier.
Did he see his touch earlier? It's going too far.
I can imagine Rio
one of the kids
with a sliding tackle. Well, listen, one of those may well be the future, but for the present, when it comes to this football club, it's another Champions League final, not just for Real Madrid, but also for this man. For a record 5th time, he takes a team to the final in this competition. They call him Don Carlo. He'll feel like the man this evening. Let's hear from him. He's with Des.
Carlo, you look incredibly calm. Bear in mind, this has been the craziest comeback ever. I mean, what a fantastic game.
I cannot say we are used to live this kind of night, but I think it happened also tonight. What happened against Chelsea, what happened against Madrid. But really difficult to say why this kind. I think that this is the biggest history of this club that help us to keep going. Also, when the things it seems were gone.
You talked about the magic of the Bernabeu. We felt that in those moments, didn't we?
Yeah, it's true. I think that the game was close to finish. We were able to find the last energy that we had. I think that we played a good game against a really strong rival. And after that, when we were able to equalize the game, of course we have psychologically we were better in the extra time.
Did you even think that you'd lost the game? Was there a moment there towards the end?
No. I have no time to think about this. I think it was difficult in that period. I think that at that moment Man City had a good control of the game, but at the last opportunity we were able to go to the extra time.
You're there for another final up against Liverpool. That'll be a fantastic challenge as well.
Oh, fantastic. Unbelievable challenge. Really happy to be there. Paris Saint-Germain against another great rival, but we are used. I think it would be a fantastic game for football.
Carlo, thank you. Well done.
Well done, that man. Look, it was a cauldron of emotion inside here this evening. There was people in tears, people on their feet, scarves being waved, but one man, ice cool over there, Carlo Ancelotti. Let's just talk about the job that he's done, because they're in the final. They've won the league at a canter.
Yeah.
This is, as we've already said, this is the team being rebuilt. I mean, he is a true global icon when it comes to football management, but he doesn't get spoken about in the same terms as some other managers, and maybe it's about time he was.
Yep. I think you're absolutely right. He won the Super Cup as well. You have to remember, in Saudi Arabia. So Everton last year, he's come to Madrid after, you know, leaving them a couple of years ago and falling out with Florentino to a certain extent. But he's back in, and the job he's done is absolutely exceptional, isn't it? And yes, the fact that he's ice cool on the touchline, or doesn't show enough emotion, who knows? And he's quite quiet in his interviews, and he never really rains praise on himself or his staff. It's all about the players. He detracts all the time. I think he's an absolute superstar. But I've never thought in that way, to be honest. I've always respected exactly what he's done, because his record and his mounted trophies speak for itself.
I wonder why it is.
I don't know, sometimes when you're a little bit more subdued and you're not as animated as others, you might go unnoticed, and people, they look to where the noise is at times. But his body of work stands up against any person in any era. Yes. He's just been phenomenal. You speak to players that have played for him, he's an absolute dream to work for, they say. Calm, cool, collected. Again, like Steve said, doesn't get too high when they're doing well. You won't see him here having a party, jumping around. I mean, we saw him at the weekend with a big Cuban Cohiba in his mouth, the sunglasses, Don Carlo, as you know him. But he doesn't get out of his pram. This guy is calm, he's measured, and the guy knows how to win. Simple as.
Oh, 100%. And you see when the goals were going in, players were running to celebrate with him. You can see what he does for this group of players. And like we have said, I've spoke to players that work with him and said his man management is there. It's top by none, and just remarkable manager.
Very good. Well, I know that you mentor young players. You're obviously involved with the England under-21 team. I'm not sure any of these players are eligible for you to call them up, but it is lovely as parents to stand here and watch these youngsters out on the pitch. I mean, these are memories for life. I'm sure all of you and your children remember the days when they're little and they're doing this after these big games.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is my kids only remember when I was at QPR, so it's a bit of a disappointment. But no disrespect to QPR, but you'd have liked to have seen me lift a few trophies live and remember it at least. But no, listen, these are great memories, and these kids, great genes. You'd like to think one or two of them would end up playing.
I mean, they were all out on the pitch enjoying themselves on Saturday. They're all out again. Yeah. I mean, it's wonderful times for these children, isn't it? All good times at this moment.
How old were your kids when you were here?
I had children when I retired, so...
Oh, so you didn't?
Yeah.
Didn't get the chance.
So they never even watched me play football.
Do they know you play football?
It might be good. That might be a good thing. All the lights have gone off, and on that, let's go.
It is getting to that point. They're giving us a message, but we're not going to go until we've heard from Pep Guardiola. Tonight remains a really difficult night for Manchester City. Manchester City's manager, he now needs to lift his players, remind them they're still fighting for the Premier League, and they should leave this competition with plenty of pride. Surely he's asking, what more could they have done? They got so close, it just wasn't enough again. And we'll hear from him next.
That's nicely done by Gundogan. There's a lot of space now for Bernardo Silva. Jesus making the run through the middle, opens up a bit of space. And coming in now is Riyad Mahrez! Semi-final hero last season, might just be the semi-final hero again. Camavinga. Searching for Benzema, who hooks it in. They've got one back. It's Rodrigo. Carvajal. It's goal. It's in. They've got another one. They've scored again. Oh my word! Here is the man of the hour, Rodrigo. Benzema has gone over. He's given the penalty. Champions League semi-final. Here comes Benzema. Side foots the ball in. Orsato's had a look at the watch and he blows the full-time whistle, and this remarkable semi-final is over. It's heartbreak for Manchester City.
Indeed it is. It was a case of got in 60 seconds for Pep Guardiola and his players this evening. Let's get his reaction now. The Manchester City boss is sharing his thoughts with Des.
Pep, there's a reason why this competition is like no other. It's incredible, it's brilliant, and also it can be cruel as well. Does it feel cruel tonight?
Yeah, we were close. And but yeah, at the end we could not reach it.
It's been heartbreaking for City. It's almost impossible to process what happens. But can you try? What happened in the end? Why did it slip away?
Well, it's simple. So the first half we didn't have game. We were not good enough, but we didn't suffer much. No. And after the goal, when we scored a goal, is when we were better. We found our tempo, our game. The players were comfortable on the pitch, and apparently It's not like we say last 10 minutes they attack and you suffer. It didn't happen. Yeah. In that moment you can say, okay, there were 10, 15 minutes completely attack, we could not survive. It's not the case. And they put a lot of players on the box with Militao, with Rodrigo, with Vinicius, with Benzema, with Asensio, all of them crosses, and they scored 2 goals.
They didn't have a shot on target until the 90th minute, and then the 91st, there were the 2 goals. So you had a control of sorts, really.
Yes, we didn't suffer much, but we didn't play our best. But it's normal semi-finals. The players, feel the pressure or feel they want to do it. But yeah, we were close. And football is unpredictable. It's a game like this, and sometimes you have to accept it.
Still showed a lot of grit out there. What are the players feeling like? They must be crushed in there.
Yeah, definitely. We were close to reach a final of the Champions League. So.
And it's a big blow for these players now. Of course, you have to lift them because the Premier League, of course, is
definitely. So now we need time to process that and come back with our people at home and the last 4 games we have.
Thanks, Pep.
Thank you.
Look, he's putting a brave face on it, understandably. Yeah. He and his players have very little to be ashamed about, if anything at all. He will surely, though, sit on that plane home now thinking, what do I have to do to win this competition with this football team?
Listen, you have to be a little bit lucky. We've seen him in the past fall at this hurdle due to little moments of luck and unfortunate mistakes. 2 penalties in the semi-finals. It's not great, but listen, there's still a lot to play for. We spoke about the opportunity to win 3 Premier Leagues in a row. Remarkable achievement if they can do that. And now it's down to everyone, not just the manager, not just a group of players. The fans as well have to play a part come Sunday. They have to lift this team because it's been an exceptional season and it's not over.
You know him well, you've worked at City for a long time. Is he the kind of person where this just makes the flame burn even brighter to win this with this club?
You would say so, because it's been a long time since he won it the first time and he's still maintained a high level of coaching standards, demand on the team. So I'm sure, this will be devastating tonight and for the next couple of days, but come, Saturday, Sunday, he'll be ready for the game.
Let's turn our minds then to the final. Mo Salah has just tweeted, "We have a score to settle."
Wow.
Is his message.
I like his... He's forward. He's fronted up.
Yeah,
you can ask players and go, "Who do you want?" "Oh, I don't care. I'm not sure." He's got unfinished business with Real Madrid. He obviously had to come off with the challenge with Sergio Ramos. So for him, I think that's something, that fire's burning.
Yeah.
He'd prefer to win it against a team that beat him last time. So listen, good luck to him. And I think probably not. But it's going to be a great final. I'm looking forward to it.
Do you think it's the final that Liverpool would have preferred? Certainly the fans we spoke to would have preferred it.
I think so. I think sometimes with the all-English finals, we had Liverpool-Tottenham, wasn't a great occasion. I remember watching Juve, AC Milan wasn't great. I played in an all-Spanish final, wasn't great. Yeah. It was comfortable enough. Even last year I thought the final wasn't great. So yes, we wanted City to get to the final and have an all-English final because it's good for our company, it's good for all of us, of course, that's great. But I think this final's a brilliant final, I really do. Real Madrid and the story that's gone on this year, they haven't been at the best, yet they've made the final, and the way they've done it, and if they do beat Liverpool, arguably it'd be the greatest victory ever, to go through PSG champions, to go through City, Chelsea and Liverpool, when we've been regaling how strong the English Premier League is and the English teams. I think that'd be the greatest victory ever. I don't think they will win, but I've said that against Chelsea and against Man City and against bloody everybody.
Give people at home a brief understanding of what this place was like after that defeat by Sheriff early in this competition, right?
Well, I mean, it was just a lot of shame, but they'd beaten Inter Milan in the first round away from home. That was the big game. Yes, they come here and lost to Sheriff, and it was a bit of a, oh my God, how did we lose to them? Isn't it disgraceful? Blah blah blah. But there was never ever thought that they wouldn't qualify. They always qualify. So it wasn't a huge.
But there's no sense that this is previously a great Real Madrid team here, is it? They've not been thinking that.
But but the difference between Man City going to that final and playing Liverpool and Real Madrid going and playing that final against Liverpool is Real Madrid expect to win the trophy. They don't go there and go, "Do you know what, we're going to give it a good try. They've got history."
Don't you think Liverpool do as well, though?
If Man City were going to go to the final, it's a very different proposition for Liverpool. I think that mental side of things is very different.
OK, well, we're not sure whether you can still hear us at home. We can't hear anything, but hopefully you can still hear what we're talking about. Carlo Ancelotti as well, that's also a fascinating one. Carlo up against Klopp. He obviously has history, doesn't he, with Liverpool, Carlo, and he knows what it feels like to have a problem with them. So that will be a really interesting battle as well.
Definitely. individual player. Oh, sorry, as
Sorry,
a
got a
player,
technical
as a
problem
coach.
here.
Listen,
No power.
he has the experience. There's no one more experienced as a manager, as a coach in his competition. So I'm sure he'll prepare his team.
So you're going to have to use the mic on those two. Yeah, we're just talking about Carlo against Liverpool.
Well, the fact that Real Madrid have won 13 and all they ever talk about is their wins. Yes, they've won the league there for the 35th time at the weekend, but the most important number is the 13th, and it's now they're aiming for the 14th. The fact that they've already had T-shirts printed saying on to the 14th suggests that this is what they want to do. This is the most important trophy, and this is what makes them the brand that Real Madrid are, and this is what attracts players in the future.
Very good. We can't see or hear anything. I think the fact they started to turn the lights out and unplug things around us is a message from Real Madrid. They're delighted to be in the final, but they'd love it if we just went home right now. Let me just remind you, of course, that we're not over for European football on BT Sport this week. You can see all the action from the Europa League and the Europa League Conference as well. Can West Ham overturn it against Frankfurt? What about Rangers? Can they do the business against Leipzig? Leicester are in with a shout against Roma as well, and you can see Marseille at home against Feyenoord as well. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your company. It's been an absolute pleasure to share it with you. Jolie, I'm sorry that we won't have your team in the final, but it's been lovely to have you with us along for the ride this season. It's the Steve McManaman final this season in the Champions League. Rio, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. We will see you. You lot go to the bar. We will see you in Paris on the 28th for the Champions League final. It will be Liverpool against Real Madrid. What incredible drama we've seen this season in the Champions League semi-finals. Thanks for being with us.